Hello! Welcome to part 2 of my dev playthrough of Saving the Besties. That is right, part 2. This is the second part of my playthrough. Hopefully the second and last part. So if you haven't seen part 1, definitely suggest that you go do that, because I'm going to reference a bunch of things from part 1. And if you haven't seen it, then you're probably not going to understand. Just like I said in part 1, massive spoiler warning, I'm going to be hopefully finishing up the rest of the game today. So yeah, James's area is the next area we're doing it next, and that's probably the longest area out of all three, so we definitely want to go ahead and do that. Just jump straight into it. Hi, Mr. Gargoyle. Okay. Construction hats. Hard hat. I want to go that too. Doesn't really matter. Just give it to. Oh, Michael has the vending machine hat. Give it to Moose, I guess. Okay. Meat. I'm probably already fully healed. Garbage. What do we have to say here? James, at the time of the creation of Saving the Besties, was a massive fan of the K-pop group Stray Kids, which was mentioned in the interaction with the couch in Michael's house, if you recall from part 1. And whenever I was making Saving the Besties, I knew I wanted James's area to be like some kind of concert venue for Stray Kids. So I wanted it to be, in comparison to the other two areas, which were sort of like nature-y and sort of beautiful, I guess. I would definitely wanted this area to be a bit like grungier, a bit definitely like more man-made. I'm kind of just saying things right now. Let's actually play the game. Hi, Amelia. Amelia, you are... for the quest to get James's Stray Kids shirt back. Which I tried originally in her dialogue. It wasn't super obvious that that's what her cape is. It's James's Stray Kids shirt, which we'll get to in a second. I updated the dialogue, or I have updated the dialogue multiple times to try and make it a bit more obvious, so that it's not like out of complete left field or just random guessing. Where it is right now, I hope that it's not like super impossible to figure out. I want to add onto this as well. Something is scratched out here and replaced with Stray Kids, which is going to be setting up the introduction of Dragon Force, which we'll get to once we get to Jeremy's joint. I have some V-Bucks, I think. 100. We could spend them on something. Let's buy an apple, I guess. I have 60 left. Man, whatever. It's fine. Hi, Rowan. Rowan. Sorry if you can hear that over the mic. I'm adjusting my laptop. I really liked writing Rowan's dialogue. It was really fun. Fuck. Rowan themselves is also a character that kind of holds a special place to me, even though they're like a complete side character, because there are a lot of queer characters in this game, very clearly. A lot of the main cast is, you know, gay and lesbian and bi and pan. Main cast isn't a lot of the important characters, but where I was in the creation of Saving the Besties, there wasn't really many openly trans or non-gender conforming characters. So in the creation of Rowan, I really, really wanted to make sure that there was some representation there, because if you, listener, are unaware, Rowan is non-binary and uses they/them pronouns. The main characters, as in the main playable characters, exclusively refer to Rowan with they/them pronouns. In universe, that's just because they don't know what Rowan's pronouns are specifically, but yeah, Rowan uses they/them pronouns. Love you, Rowan. You're awesome. We'll do your quest later. Oh boy, back to the knights. So, like I said in part 1, one of my biggest, most favorite things in games is continuity in the game world. Like, things making sense across the universe. So, one thing when I added the knights specifically was I was wanting to help create more of that across the 3 different districts. So you have the knights in Moose's area who are like, where did the other knight go? You have the commander in Lemonos's area who's just chilling. And then you have the other knight here who somehow wandered all the way over here. Helps to bridge the 3 districts and sort of make everything feel like it's in the same world, I feel like, which was really important to me. I want the world to feel like, you know, a world. That makes sense. Jeremy's joint. Let's open this box. Got the achievement for opening all the boxes. I'm so good. Alright, this is the start of the aforementioned James Stray Goods quest. There's no shirt. Maybe I should ask him about it. Jay, shout out to you for listening. This character is supposed to be my friend Jay, our friend Jay, who's also in our friend group. He was the main playtester of Saving the Besties, which you can see in the credits. He's listed at the very top of the playtesters list. At least I think so. It's specified that he is. And he really, really helped a lot with making sure this game was, like, not utterly miserable to play. Because I subjected that poor man to the worst. Wow, you're so on the nose, Jay. That's awesome. It really is dumb. Dumb and stupid, and I hate it. I'm not even in it. Very on the nose with this dialogue. There's a really cute interaction here, which is kind of subtle. A huge-ass computer. I don't know why I like that one so much. Maybe because it's so, like, sneaky. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's go to Jeremy's shrine. Alrighty. Sorry. I don't have a lot to say about Dragon Force. I myself am an OSU player, and that's how I discovered Dragon Force's music, through, you know, the classic Fire and Flames. And Michael and James as well are both OC players, so I had a Dragon Force just because, you know, I was like, what should I add? Basically, that was the large, in large part, when I was making characters for this game, I was just like, what should I add? If I wanted to add a real life person, I'd just be like, what am I feeling? What do I think would serve the game world? So I wanted to add Dragon Force to create some lore that, you know, James took over the concert hall and Dragon Force was originally going to play, but James crossed them out for, you know, some quote-unquote huge K-pop group. So yeah, there's some differing perspectives amongst the Dragon Force group. I really like this line, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't have a lot to say about them. So, to follow up on Jay's playtesting, the first version of this game, I've talked about it a little. One of the worst things about it is that my boss fight was like impossible, like I said in part 1, because I balanced all the boss fights to be about the same difficulty. One other thing, the enemy, or the battle, what would be the right term? The random enemy encounters in my area and Moose's area were like crazy. You get them so often. You get them pretty often still, but oh man. Back in that first version, it was like turned up to 11. I'm sorry, Jay, for subjecting you to that, but also thank you. Hi, gay boys. I knew creating Ramsey and Fabian's dynamic, I wanted to make them, like, you know, the ultra giga down bad one, and then the other that is totally oblivious to it. I just thought that was fun. Finished. You're gonna see a movie? Oh wow, that's awesome. What movie? Die Hard. Fun fact, I have never seen Die Hard. These are the fun facts that we're interested in. Screw you, Ramsey, and your fucking horniness. The fact that I've never seen Die Hard. These are the developer insights we're truly looking for here. Anyway, so you guys have fun. Katana. I really like this weapon. It's probably one of my favorite weapons in the game. I find this one really fun. Give it to Michael, I guess. Oh, I never gave anyone the brass knuckles. Am I missing anything else? No. This one greatly increases the chance for a critical hit, which is just built into RPGMaker. But I find that one really fun, because you can combine it with a lot of other armors for some fun interactions. Like, there's an armor that makes it so you attack twice per turn. And if I'm remembering correctly, it's collected from something that I've not mentioned yet. And so I'm just gonna leave it, because I'm not gonna be getting it in this playthrough. If you find it, then good for you. You'll know what I'm talking about. Hi, Clarice. Alright, Clarice, go to here. Clarice, like Rowan, is a character that I have a weird attachment to. I don't know why. She barely has like any lines, but I don't know, I just really like her. Hi, Eleanor. And Carter says hi! This dialogue only happens if you interact with Eleanor's bedroom door in the Sage household. Is that... That's in-game, isn't it? I'm pretty sure whenever you enter their house, it says Sage household. I can't remember. If not, canonizing right now, the Sequoia's family's last name is Sage. Sequoia Sage, Eleanor Sage. You can find this out for certain through the mailbox in Moose's residential area, but, you know, just to add on. Little fun fact here. Lemon Roast, of course. Wouldn't know who Sequoia is, because Sequoia's Tree Garden is out of our district. I wanted to create kind of an interesting dynamic between all of the family. I don't have anything specific to say about it, but I did want to make it so they all sort of represented a different, I wanted all of their roles to make sense, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, in terms of what's going on, you know, with the rest of them's lives. Obviously, Sequoia's off doing her own thing. It makes sense that, you know, Eleanor's parents aren't working anymore, so Eleanor is left to provide for them. And that's taken a toll on her. And Carter is Carter. This one's fun. One of my favorite secrets in the game. This is a door. Real ones know what is behind this door. Will I show it? No. You know what? No, I'm not going to. Play the damn game yourself, if you don't know. I bet it's one of my favorite secrets in the entire game, if not my favorite. Hi, Colleen. I had the Paige Harley storyline like completely cemented at this point, knowing what I didn't phrase that very well. Knowing how I wanted it to end. At this point in the game, I had made a list for all the things I wanted in James's area till the end of the game. And so I knew Paige needed someone to bond with. And so that was the basis for Colleen's creation. Just someone studious that's friendly and outgoing, and, you know, someone who can sort of balance out maybe Paige's slight shyness, but excitement when talking about topics she likes. Shout out to you, Colleen. Love you. Let's go ahead and get the value pin. I'm looking through trash cans. It's unsanitary. Completely forgot about that. That interaction. This character is Mima from the movie Perfect Blue, which I watched sometime during the creation of Saving the Besties. Absolutely fantastic movie. If you like horror stuff, 1,000,000% watch it. Oh my god, it's so good. I'm sure most people probably recognize it from, you know, that one infamous picture. But I would completely recommend it. It's so, so good. Let's get to this. This interaction was kind of one of the happy accidents. I was planning on never using the rope again, honestly, but I got here and I was like, well, actually, it would kind of make sense if the player could use the rope here to get an item. This line is kind of an if you know reference. It is stated that do I even want to say? Do I want to say what this is a reference to? I will say it is stated that a cavity of the human body can contain 2 raccoons. It is capable of stretching enough to contain 2 raccoons, and that is all I will say. If you know, then yeah, you know. That little dialogue right there, I do try to establish Michael as being a little selfish. The main 4 characters don't get a whole lot of development, but I did try. So yeah, I tried to make Michael a little selfish because that sets up the finale a little better with the final boss fight. There's a few other instances of that throughout the game, quite a few actually. The circle is one thing. The blue glowing circle that's in Moose's area, which I didn't interact with. If you want to know what I'm talking about, or well, you should know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, then maybe check out Saving the Besties. But yeah, I do try to set up Michael to be a little selfish, to try and make the ending growth more impactful. There's also some dialogue here. I added that dialogue very, very, very late. That was one of like the last things I wrote, fun fact, just because originally you just interacted again and there was just nothing. Just wouldn't say anything else. But almost everything has a secondary interaction in this game, and so I wanted to honor that. Hi, Edith. I thought it'd be funny if Edith comes back around for the concert. Hello, Anjali. Setting up Andri and Serafina's dynamic was pretty fun. So I really liked the idea of setting up Andri as like this like warrior who needs to like take down the evildoer that is Serafina, the villainess. And then you meet Serafina and she's like, hey, how's it going? Just like the most nonchalant person ever. Also, I don't know if this is obvious, but Andri and Serafina are created to be opposites to each other, mostly in terms of like the general. We have fire and ice going on. Serafina's red and orange, while Andri's different colors of blue. Their names also. Michael's gambling addiction is a silly little thing. Their names also mean fire and ice as well. Fun fact. So yeah, even in name, they're born rivals. Roulette tables. Hey. I had never used the horses in this game yet, so I thought it'd be silly if there were some horses at the roulette tables. Hi. This character is a reference to something. It is Bloody Mary by the artist Con. As you can see with her ordering a Bloody Mary. Absolute banger of the song, by the way. It should be on screen right now. And it should be linked in the description as well. That song is so good. I love it so much. I'd recommend if, you're into Japanese music, but she does have a nice hat though. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Yeah, that song is so good. I love that song so much. Thought it'd be silly if I added her here. Another reference to Japanese music. This character is a reference to Haine and Kleine by Niru Kajitsu, aka Nilfruits. Love that song, love Nilfruits. So, just like Bloody Mary, I thought it'd be fun if he was here. In case you're wondering, my favorite Nilfruits song is probably Hungry Nicole, but I also really like Gilma. That's probably Gilma, actually. I love that song so much. Anyways, none of you probably know what I'm talking about, so. This dialogue. I loved writing this dialogue. Sometimes I write dialogue, and afterwards I laugh to myself as I reread it, just because I'm like, man, this is perfect. This is one of those cases. I really like this interaction. Sorry, I just rubbed the mic with my hand. The Rager and Rager Ramsey? What is that supposed to mean? Let's find out! There's been a lot of foreshadowing to this. Ramsey mentions the fact that he's seen Fabian before somewhere, but kind of brushes it off. Just being like, oh yeah, you've been in the shop, haven't you? Blue hair, black suit. Whenever Ramsey first introduces himself as Rager Ramsey, there's also sort of like a, is that really why you're named that? Because Ramsey says it's all like Ragers he goes to. Shout out to Cecil, one of the only canonically straight characters in Saving the Besties. Well, he could be bi. He could be bi. I'm saying that as if I'm not the creator of Saving the Besties. One of the only canonical characters with attraction to someone of the opposite sex, I guess. They're so silly, I love them. I thought about adding an achievement for that, for having that interaction, called like Rager Ramsey Origins, but I didn't end up doing that because I A, didn't want there to be too many achievements, and B, talking to these guys is already required to get the, what should I call it? Don't remember what I named it, but I think we're gonna get it, so we'll see. The achievement for getting everyone in the final scene before we leave Methland, to get all the possible NPCs to show up. So it's sort of like, you already have to talk to these guys for an achievement. I don't want to make another achievement for them. Automatic. No. I'm sure it took a lot of restraint. The names of these guys are all different. which it's sort of a like tongue-in-cheek by horror movies that are like have the most awful sequel names. Like think of the Halloween franchise, which Michael's into. This one's pretty cut and dry, obvious reference to Halloween. It's like we've got Halloween the first, and then Halloween 2, and then Halloween 3, which is not even related to Michael Myers, and then we've got Halloween 4, and then Halloween H2O, which isn't related to Halloween 3 or 4 or 5. And then we've got Halloween again, which is the 2018 version, which is just called Halloween. And we've got Halloween, whatever, the reboot with the same name as the original, exactly. I say that out of respect for the Halloween franchise. As bad as a lot of them are, it holds a very special place in my heart. 150 V-Bucks. I can't remember if it's the maximum. I don't remember, and I don't feel like trying the slot machine a whole bunch to find out. Hi, Edmund. For all of the districts, I wanted there to be one gamer part that was maybe a little harder to get than the others. I didn't actually get that gamer part for Moose's area or Luminos's area. So, if you know the gamer part I'm talking about, then you know. But this is it for James's area. In order to get this gamer part, you need to convince Edmund to stop doing this slots, so he'll move out of the way in order for you to get it in the top right corner there. Get out of here, Edmund. Alright. Okay, that's a fun fact. I wasn't sure if I would show this, because I don't know if I want to reveal all the secrets about Saving the Besties. There's a lot of cocaine under this table. Anyways. Let's go actually progress the story, I guess. We've gone through all of the areas in this district, pretty much. So you can actually progress the storyline. Serafina graffiti. This is actually true. I don't drink soda. I don't like carbonation. So I don't drink soda. Hi, Serafina. I know a guy who knows a guy. Again, to talk about characterization for the main cast, the playable characters. One thing I wanted to establish Luminos as is someone who gets the job done. So we hesitate here, but Luminos is the one that pitches in to say yes. There are some other examples of her sort of being like that. And even though that's sort of... Okay, I'm gonna be so for real. Basically all of us are like the same person. We're all... in real life, I'm trying to say. I established some characterization for the Saving the Besties versions of our characters, just to make them more interesting as characters. And I sort of exaggerate some of our sort of our some of our personalities for this game, like James's love of Stray Kids, for example. James is not like the craziest die-hard Stray Kids fan ever, but I exaggerated that for his character in this game. Same with what I just said about Lemon Rose. Yeah. It's all about making more interesting characters for this game, you know, rather than making everything as realistic as possible. Reading Christine, that was foreshadowed earlier when we talked to her on the bench. She mentioned that she was reading Christine. It's not really foreshadowing, but, you know, continuity. They're so cute. Love them. In the interest of, you know, fleshing out Colleen more as well, I did want to make it so she had moments where she would, because almost everything she talks about with the player or with another character is about her interest in concerts, and I sort of wanted to use that for her characterization. So that's something she's a little self-conscious about. She, you know, how do I say? She, you know, gets worried that she talks about it too much, that she's not interesting enough since she talks about it too much. Something like that. I'm glad we got these characters. These enemies are a reference to one of James's, I don't know if I would say favorite anime, but an anime that James really likes. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. This character is Rimuru, who turns into the slime in that show. I've not watched it. Sorry if that's like not a perfect explanation, but did I? Actually, that's used. Man. I was gonna maybe use the katana, but I can just kill this guy off real quick. One fun thing that I wanted to do with the enemies in all the areas is sort of make them like lead up to the boss fight. Like for example, in Moose's area, you have the skyfish that heal and purify the other allies, which is what Moose does in his boss fight. In this area, you have the Rimurus, who we just fought, which have an ability that allows them to eat up the main character's max MP, so it's reduced, which is an ability that James has. From a game design perspective, I wanted to sort of like make the player know what to expect, you know? Should I get this game apart? Sure, why the hell not? Hopefully I don't mess it up, actually. Okay, cool. Yeah, that stealth section, when I got here, I knew I wanted to have it. I used a plugin for that. I don't remember the name of the person who made it, but they are in the credits of this game. And I'll probably write their name on screen right now. And as you can see, I did have to remove the party trailing you, because it didn't really make any sense. The two NPCs can only direct detect Michael, so it doesn't really make sense if Moose and Lemon Rose are out like in their view and nothing happens. We need to hide somewhere. How about in this one convenient hole? Oh no, is he gonna find me? I wonder. Alright. My character is talking about, characterizations more. My character is also sort of supposed to be characterized as more like along the innocent side, or like doing things for the greater good, So like I don't really want to do stuff like sneak into the freezer, but consequences. That's girl boss. Fun fact, I believe, Bloody Mary, excluding, excluding like some edge cases, is actually the character with the most individual different interactions, I believe. You can interact with her twice when you first meet her. There's 2 different interactions there whenever you get the meet to her, and then interact with her again afterwards. And then there's another interaction after that too, after she's done. And then after you fight James, and she's gotten her hat back, she has 2 separate interactions as well. So that does make her the character with the most. Just, there's a character here, you interact with them. How many different interactions can you get when you do so? She has the most, which is really funny, considering she's just like a random side character. Just kind of worked out that way. While I'm fighting this Stray Kids fan, we can talk about the music in this game. It's all stock RPGMaker music. I think I say that in the credits. Excluding one track, which we will get to, I will show off. We will do that. If you know, then you know, because it's pretty obvious. Yeah, all of the music was just stock RPGMaker music. Some of it is like surprisingly bang. Like legitimately, and I cannot believe it. Whenever we get to the final boss fight, oh my god. That song is so hype. It is so good. Like, for no reason. Alright, let's get Seraphina into the concert now. The cat. The guy who may know a guy who may know a guy. Fun fact, there is no counterfeit tickets item. Because, obviously the player can never check their items list before they lose it. So, there's just not even an item. This interaction, oh my god, gave me so many problems. It would break all the time, and I don't know why. I literally asked the RPGMaker subreddit, and they didn't know either. So I kind of just had to like mess around with it until it sort of worked. But this happening, like I said, I had that list of things I wanted for this area, and onwards, this interaction was completely planned. I knew I wanted this to happen. Because Andrei maybe is not the sharpest tool in the shed. But he's dedicated, that's for sure, in his search for Serafina. So it makes sense that he'd get fooled like that. Thanks, Andrei. Alrighty. Let's fight James. Serafina is obviously the one to respond to that. Very, very gay. That's anyone in the Stray Kids fandom would attest to that statement. Fun fact. So many fun facts. This was not, actually, I had that list. This was not my original plan for how this goes down. This cute little, like, error fake. I originally had planned that a PNG of Stray Kids would come out onto the stage, like slide across the stage, sort of like in part 1, how the skeleton moves. Yeah, a PNG of Stray Kids would slide across the stage and then would fall over, and it'd be revealed that it was a cardboard cutout. That was my original plan. I couldn't get like a good PNG and get it to work, so I thought of this sort of like more meta approach, and was like, oh, this is fun. I got it to work sort of okay. It's cute. It's not like very convincing, obviously, but it's cute. I like it. Alright, James boss fight. We can probably speed through this pretty quick. Unless James goes like sicko mode or something. He could. It's very, very possible. He could use God's menu and just like hit every single attack and murder all of us. I'm not gonna completely discount it. Ouch. Okay, that works out pretty perfectly, because now I can use Ankle Breeze and then this. Lone Nurse also has the Grass Knuckles, so that hit will potentially enrage the Poison Rat, but it did not. Oh, speaking of the Poison Rat, the Sewer Rat is a reference to a Chills parody about sewer rats. I'll probably, I might play that, I don't know. But yeah, I find that really funny.
Number 15, Sewer Rats. When I was a young boy, I came across a couple of sewer rats from the drain beside my home. I did what any young boy would do and began eating the sewer rats, fur and all. My Mima saw me in the corner, devouring a couple of magnificent sewer rats. She exclaimed, "Oh, Dios mío, me poor boy, he's eating sewer rats, rats that are from the sewer." I did not reply because I was far too busy crunching on a couple of sewer rats.
There did the video play. I hope you liked it. Was it funny? Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I'm still playing games. Okay, we are getting kind of low on health. So I will for sure need the... I might actually just take this turn to heal. And start buffing Michael. I can actually use that good shit. Right, I haven't talked about Lemon Rose's attacks yet, I guess. Luminers. Oh my goodness. Speaking of getting God's menu to death, wow. I might need to use an item here. What do I have? I have like everything. Let's just use bottled milk on Michael. Guard on me, and then use that good shit on Luminers. We got some drug-themed attacks for Luminers, a couple, just because I thought it was silly. I thought she would like it. So, other than that, it's just some nature-themed stuff. Not super deep. Okay, this might... Okay, cool. Good. Man, James is beating us up right now. I might just go for it, I think. Luminers can use that good shit. To heal us before. So hopefully we don't take much damage from the final attack. This one's for you, Felix. Felix, one of James's favorite Stray Kids members. Okay, cool. Oof. I am not doing too hot, but it doesn't really matter. I could use a line of cocaine just to be safe, but I don't know if I really feel a need to. I mean, sure, why not? I guess I have 4 of them. Discard. Cool. Okay. Should be about it, I think. I planned for my character to be sort of general support in battles, but I also did for Luminers as well, more so in terms of, I should just smacked him, he would have died, I didn't think about it. 164 damage, that's crazy. More so in terms of healing, compared to my abilities. I don't have any healing abilities. Seraphina sometimes does not run onto the screen here. I never figured out why. You can ever so slightly see the top of her head poking out at the bottom of the screen. She's supposed to run up into the concert. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. I have no idea why. I wish I did. So it's kind of funny that it didn't happen here, so I could talk about it. There, I wanted to add a little bit of humanization to Seraphina. We'll talk about it a little more once we meet someone related to her, but I wanted to set up Seraphina as someone who has a really, really hard exterior, but on the inside actually does care about the people around her. And that there is sort of like her facade breaking a little. This line is in reference to me drinking a lot of Yoo-hoos. I used to drink Yoo-hoos a lot. And everyone else thinks that they're gross. Everyone else in this friend group. Yes, that's Seraphina, all the way down there at the very bottom of the screen. She's gonna run up a little bit. And it sorta looks... It's maybe like sorta looks intentional, not really, but it's whatever. Not something I really care about all that much. There she is. Alright, we've got James now. Let's go. Let's go see Paige and Harley. This interaction is one that I was very excited to write because it had been set up for a long time, and it was one of those that I was very happy with after I finished. I've been trying to set it up throughout the entirety of the game thus far, like completely from the very beginning of my area. With Harley being like, Harley offhandedly mentions in your first interaction with her, she says something like, I hear the dating world is absolutely ruthless. And that's supposed to sort of lead up to this moment, even all the way back then. Harley herself has been rejected so many times that she fears the same for her sister, even though all she really it's sort of blinded her, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Her experience has blinded her in the way that instead of just like getting to know her sister and getting to know what other people might like about her, she just goes around to people like Fabian and Ramsey and is like, yeah, my sister is everything that you're looking for, because she doesn't want her to, end up as lonely as she is. And then the payoff for that, obviously, is the fact that because Harley never bothered to ask Paige, what her dating preferences would be like, or talk to her about it at all, instead choosing to do it behind her back, it turns out that just like Fabian, just like Ramsey, the final payoff, Paige doesn't even like men. And so this has all been for naught. I obviously, say that here too. I never even bothered to learn who you really was. To interrupt the moment here, Dragon Force doing a meet and greet. They talked about that in Jeremy's joint earlier when I interacted with them and was talking about some other bullshit instead. But yeah, it's foreshadowed that they're going to do that. I'm really happy with their storyline and how it turned out. Thanks, Anthony. These old guys can't smell the bullshit. I really like that line. I felt so clever writing that. One thing I just remembered that I'm going to do. We have to talk to Mr. Bloodstain here. I mentioned in part 1 we talked to Jane, who has her siblings in the other 2 districts. This is Kane the Bloodstain. I'll talk a little bit more about what I was trying to achieve with the 3 siblings when I talk with Zane in Lemrose's area, because I'm going to go around to the 3 different districts again and tie up some loose ends. But yeah, I also wanted to establish some more continuity between the worlds, the different districts. Michael mentions Jane, of course, because Jane is the only one of the siblings we've talked to up to this point. Of course, it would be different if we had talked to Zane already. It's sort of implied here that Zane realizes what he has become, and that he's sort of like someone who's completely different than his siblings would know. Alright. Thanks, Kane. We'll talk to your brother eventually. I don't really feel like fighting this, sorry. We do have James here, but I'll have plenty of opportunity to talk about James's attacks later. There's some fun stuff here. Mr. Ogre guy has left, so we can see that he was just painting with ketchup and mustard on campus. I really like that title. Hi, Eleanor. Alright, we've got the Stray Kids meet and greet group over here. Oh, the box too. Now that we have James, we can ask him about it. Somebody around here must have taken it. Interesting, I wonder who that might be. Maybe the character who said that they found something? This was just a silly thing. I thought it'd be really funny if Paige is like this die-hard Dragon Force fan. Despite just being like the quiet bookworm. So she's got like a body pillow of vermin. Oh, it's a cardboard cutout. Yeah, she's... I don't know. I thought it would be fun to just like... set her up as someone who probably would not be into something like this and make it turn out that she's like the craziest fan for it. Strawberries. Wonder who might want those. What's the interaction here? Leave the magical strawberry bush alone. Hi, Amelia. That's the shirt. A gift for me. And such begins the quest to find a new cape for Amelia. Alright, so we've come to right before the final boss, or the stretch to the final boss. Poking a little bit of fun at myself here. But first I'm going to go around to the other areas and tie up some loose ends, do a few extra things, show off some more fun stuff that I can do now that I have every group member in the party. Fathead, obviously setting up his master plan here. Send them to the dungeon. There it is. There's a lot of foreshadowing that Fathead might just be hiding some things. How about the fact that Fathead can just open the way to Lance's castle? How queer. How interesting. Make sure I do anything else you want before you go. Thanks, Fathead. Alright, let's go to Moose's area and finish things up. What all will we have to do here? Let's talk to the moms very first, because they're right here. Me. There you go. We'll meet up with them in a minute. We can talk to this lovely gentleman. Peonies and fur hats. Good morning, hat fans. This lovely gentleman is a reference to the Friday Hat Man, who runs the Friday Hat Man YouTube channel, in which every Friday he wears a new hat and makes a little YouTube video to show it off. That is also true. I do have quite a bit of hats. I have a bunch of silly hats from Walmart that I got from the claw machine when I was super young. I have 2 hats. I will say that actually I think I'm a liar. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about just a minute ago. I'm just a liar. I forgot that you just get this one for interacting with Hatman if you have at least 2 hats. So yeah, this is the weapon, or this is the armor that gives you an extra attack per turn. I will say the maximum amount of hats you can present to the Hatman is 4. However, it is very, very difficult. So if you would like to try that, I wish you the best of luck. I only have 2. That is the vending machine hat and the construction hat that I gave to myself. There are 2 more that you need to show him. Anyways, I kind of just waltzed like straight over here without even mentioning it. Yes, there's a secret passage right here. I didn't show it earlier because, or no, I think I did. I recorded part 1 on a separate day and I forgot. But yeah, we can now go this way, we can talk to this lovely lass down here. Buttermilk. Silk cape, I wonder who might want that. Some kind of rock carvings. Right? A Rowan right, perhaps? So yeah, Rowan's habit of losing things, it only is natural that something that they made would end up here. Anyways, let's talk to this lady. Your sister? What sister? Sister! So yes, I didn't even think to mention it, my bad. But Seraphina actually mentions her sister right before you enter the concert hall. She says something along the lines of, "God, my sister would freak if she saw me like this." So sister has been mentioned. This is not completely out of nowhere. Work buddies. Jeremy's. Oh, girl boss. She is not working there. Hi, Solana. Nice to meet you. So I wanted to set up an interesting dichotomy between Seraphina and her sister. Like I mentioned with Seraphina, sorry, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. I mentioned with Seraphina, she comes off as someone who's kind of cold, brash, someone who doesn't really care. And then when you get to know her, she has a caring side to her. Underneath that cool facade, Solana, I wanted to set up as someone who comes off as kind and, caring on the outside, but on the inside is someone that is bitter and can't stand to think about what has happened to her and her sister. I wanted to sort of show the ways that their parents' abandonment of them affected the both of them and made them create these facades that are both different and show how they're handling it differently. We have Seraphina, who's pretending that she's working at Jeremy's, when in reality she's just pickpocketing to make money. And Solana, who's pretending to just not be doing anything, but is coming here to try and get things for them. They're both sort of like lying to each other in ways that don't actually make them all that different, even if as characters themselves they're very different in how they present who they are and how they feel about their parents. So I definitely want to set up an interesting dynamic between the two of them. We have a silly tree. This is a fun reference. This is a reference to the fantastic game One Shot, which I played not long. I think maybe while I was making Saving the Besties. It is an armor that I will give to James. And we're done here, so where are we going now? Let's go to Sequoia, I think? Oh yeah! Neil made it back to his night buddies. And, or Nolan, excuse me, made it back to his night buddies. And, Neil and Nolan may have some homoerotic tension. Anyways. Did you see Commander? Wonder where he is. No idea. I'm sure we won't see him coming up. Okay, let's just rush this guy down. Actually, probably better if I did that. Alright. Today's video. Cute interaction, now that I have everybody. I wanted to make as many of those as possible. To where when you have more characters in your party and you interact with NPCs, you get different dialogue. Just to make the characters feel more alive, That's, I keep bringing that up over and over again, but I really did want to make the characters feel like they have actual depth to them. Hi, Seraphina. Seraphina. Wrong one. Hey, Sequoia. So yeah, and setting up those family dynamics that I've talked about, I wanted to add some more conflict to Sequoia, because obviously Eleanor is sort of providing for the whole family at this point, and I wanted that to sort of wear on Sequoia a little. Sequoia's not been back home in who knows how long. But she's so worried about leaving her trees that she doesn't. She never bothers. And I did want to make sure to write loved ones in this interaction with the tree. God, that is such a wild sentence. Anyways, I want to make sure to write loved ones in this interaction with the tree because obviously, not everyone has or can have a great relationship with their family. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't say something like, your family is the only one you've got, because sometimes you don't, you know? Sometimes your loved ones are your family, and sometimes your loved ones aren't. But your loved ones are your loved ones all the same. Your loved ones love you, of course. And you know, cherishing them is important. I say that in reference to a scene where a girl talks to a tree. But a silly game this is. I guess in bringing that up, we can talk a little bit about Saving the Besties as a whole, as I'm fighting these conferences. Saving the Besties is, by all means, a silly game. It's got a bunch of references to things I love. It's got a bunch of stupid stuff in it. But at the end of the day, Saving the Besties is a game that has a lot of love put into it from me, and has a lot of love to give, honestly. Saving the Besties has... It's, like, on the surface, it's just this random, stupid, I threw a bunch of shit into RPGMaker kind of game. But that was kind of the facade that I wanted to give off. I wanted players to come into the game expecting that, and have that be provided to them for a game in large part, but come out of the experience with something more, you know? There's a lot of themes in here that are sort of, like, not important, I guess, but things that matter, you know? I wanted to create characters that feel like people. That's something I've always said throughout, you know, this entire playthrough. I wanted to create characters that have genuine struggles and I wanted to create characters that are real. And I wanted people to see those characters and take something away from it, you know? So you come into this game for the stupid, because there's a lot of it. And I wanted people to come out of it with something special. Because that's in large part, wild thing I'm about to say, that's in large part how I feel about the game Toilet Wonderland, and why I praise it so much, why I recommended it in the first part of this playthrough. I love that game because on the surface it's just the wildest thing ever, but by the end of it, it's like, why do I feel genuinely, like, attached to this game? I wanted to create that. I wanted to make my own experience that emulated that. Because Toilet Wonderland means so much to me, I wanted to make something that means the same amount to others, you know? And even if that crowd maybe hasn't found it yet, I've still created something that I love. And at the end of the day, that, I suppose, is what's most important, isn't it? Anyways. Let's go over here. With this area, I wanted to add a lot of depth to the characters. So we get some more info about some of the pre-existing characters you met. Fabian, for example, likes fixing up cars in the junkyard. We learn his last name, Fabian Schaefer. Just little things that, you know, make the characters feel like actual people. How many times already? If you take a shot for every single time that I've said that in this entire playthrough, part 1 and 2, you will die. I'm sorry. So this is Sequoia's house right here. Her confirmed last name is Sage. This house is the house of... Let me get the names right. This is the house of Marigold and her daughter, Lavender. Whenever we meet back up with them, they're going to mention that they're gardeners. So I wanted to make sure they had a little garden next to the house. That is true. I did have those in my backyard. This house is the house of Dahlia and Jasmine. We get their last name as well, which both are flowery as well, to lean into their naming archetype. Here's Arwen's house. They left their keys in the lock. How silly. Here's Comedy Cove, which Jeff the Clown mentions. I love IKEA. I have never been to IKEA, so I thought that was silly. This is one of my favorite, like, weird little things in this game. I love this little gremlin lad that lives in his little abandoned house. Some Serafina graffiti here. She's been places. Some very, very non-subtle foreshadowing here. There's a guy chilling up here. I just really wanted to use that face sprite for the text. I thought it was so silly. There's also a little secret up here, which I'm going to point out because it is a reference to Friday the 13th. This is Crystal Lake. It also gives you a pretty interesting item. Earlier I mentioned about Michael's sort of selfishness. I did sort of want to bring that up here. A lot of times when he collects items, it's sort of like a, I'm just going to take this because I feel like it. Moose kind of like pushbacks a little on that. This item is really interesting. It reflects damage that the character takes onto the enemy. This item is really crazy, actually. It can, fun fact, be used on bosses to basically immediately kill them whenever they use their final attack if you time the use of the item correctly. I could have patched that out, but I didn't because I thought it was funny. Interesting. I think the last thing that we have to do here is go to the fun room at the bottom of this area. Good job, James. I'm proud of you. That will be the last thing for Moose's area. I might just run. Don't wanna wait. Hi, Death. Welcome to the Bobby room. This is Bobby from the Fox animated series King of the Hill. So, lore drop about the Bobby room. The Bobby room was suggested to me by either Luminers or James, I can't remember, I'm sorry. And so I added it. Why? Why not? Absolutely. We found Bobby's pin. Where has a 50% chance to counterattack? I completely forgot about that. So whenever James gets attacked by just a standard attack, there's a chance that he will just completely negate the damage and attack instead. It's a really, really powerful item, actually. Maybe not this late in the game, but still useful for the stretch to Lance's castle. This is also a reference to the thing I mentioned in part 1 of this playthrough, the small brown stain that's found in Michael's house. It's the same reference to that Chills video. Let's get out of here. Now let's get out of my area. We can go to Luminers' area. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. I don't think I have. This guy dies in one hit. We can just attack. I forgot that James attacks twice as well. So that's funny. It's a funny combo. I'm just gonna run. To Luminous area we go. I'm not gonna buy anything from Snoop's shop, just because I don't really feel like it. I think I might buy a weapon for James. I should be able to buy the shotgun from Ramsey's shop. Because he has relocated. Or well, he has returned to his shop, I mean. I'll go ahead and do that first. Well, Commander's over here, can talk to him. I did mean to make that accurate to the playtime of this game. He's been out for a couple hours. We've been playing the game for a few hours or so. There's another thing that we'll get to. We haven't gotten there yet. That is similar to that. We can give Madeline the strawberries we got from James' concert hall for the strawberry jam. These strawberries are also just items you can use that just heal a little bit of health. But the strawberry jam is much better. It heals every teammate. In comparison to the life jam, which just heals out one teammate. Or resurrects one teammate. The life jam heals less, but it, of course, heals everyone or resurrects everyone. We kind of give, since we talked to his friends, we kind of can give Ramsey a little bit of razzing here. Let's buy the shotgun. I should have enough. I'll give that to James. Thank you. See you, Ramsey. I'm sure we will never see you ever again. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay. Do you have anything else to do? Let's go talk to the moms. Oh, we can talk to Zane. He's right here. Zane the Crane. These NPCs are really funny because they're really, really hidden. But I did actually really try. I tried to develop them a fair amount. Here we mentioned both Jane and Kane, because we've talked about them. So, with those guys, I sort of wanted to, when I was making Saving the Besties, I started working retail, and as well as, you know, sort of trying to decide what I wanted to do with my future. I know, funny thing to just like drop out of nowhere, but in their storyline, I sort of wanted to create the different avenues of going down a career path, I guess. We have Jane, who, in her looking out for Zane and Kane, ends up just living in Moose's Skyland as a storm drain and doing something that she hates. We have Zane, who pursued what he believed to be his passion that he's ended up hating. And then we have Kane, the one that Jane and Zane were trying to look out for, who has ended up desensitized to what he sees. I wanted to illustrate three different negative outcomes, I guess, and what each of them ended up doing. Sort of like a tragic. We're all different, but we all have this in common, kind of thing. And there's obviously an achievement for it. Look at all those achievements we got. And we're still not even halfway through all of them. Don't even have half of them. I'm obviously missing these three, but wow. Just goes to show how many secrets are in this game. You know how much I've shown? Think about how much I haven't shown. If there's that many achievements. We're gonna get quite a few, of course, before the end of the game, but still. Let's talk to the moms now. Speaking of. So these are the primroses, like I said. The gardeners. We get some herbs of healing. We have the Aster family. We got a potion. Cute little thing. Marigold gives you an herb of healing, which heals HP 75%, and Shoot, I cannot think of her name. Dahlia gives you the rejuvenating potion, which gives you 75% MP. So they're sort of like opposites of each other. We also have a reference to Resident Evil here with the description, and a reference to a a video by YouTuber JStation, who is he in jail now? Whatever. Who made a video of where he drank the gay potion at 3 a.m. Just thought it was a funny reference. My friends joke about it sometimes. Is there anything else to do before we do the thing? We can go talk to Sequoia's family, because there is some extra dialogue. Adding those dialogues, like, post everything, helps to reinforce, like, the family dynamics I was talking about, and say it with me, helps to add depth to their characters, woo! So yeah, I wanted to make sure to do that. Is there anything else for us to do? I think we should go ahead and do the thing, but let's make sure to meet first. Coins? Who is it? Someone new? So anyways, here's Connie. And the singular song that I made for this game, that I just made on a whim because I was bored and thought it'd be fun to try. I'm just gonna fight him and talk about everything surrounding him. Connie is a character from the Cryptoland animation, in which there was a bunch of crypto enthusiasts who like were gonna make an island or whatever for crypto fans. I don't know. Connie's their mascot. And I don't know, that video is just an experience. We joke about it a lot amongst our friend group, so I just wanted to add him here as the secret. That clip is lifted from the video itself. I wanted to add him here, just as, like, I thought it'd be so fun if he was, like, the secret boss that's, like, super hard, like the Jumble of this game. Yeah, all his attacks are themed around cryptocurrency stuff. I don't know anything about that, but just like surface level. Yeah, like I said, this boss fight is intended to be very difficult. We're kind of stopping him right now, but this boss fight is intended to be about the same difficulty as the final boss, roughly. That's personal preference, I guess, but that was my intention. I would edit this song. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Ouch. Connie reduces everyone's maximum HP. That's one of his things. And ooh, his attacks hurt so much more because of that. James has the shotgun though, and he's a breacher now, so that's good. Good job, James. Connie's also blind because he attacked James. Oh, it's fire. Because James has the The light bulb that we just got from Lost him.
What are you, a pending transaction or what?
Oh no. Oh god. Okay. I might. No, James will be fine. To talk. I'm gonna use maybe cocaine. I could use an apple as well to sort of negate the maximum HP downing. Okay, it worked out. Oh please. Oh, okay. I might. James has just been out of commission this entire time. I can't use his attack Maniac, which recovers MP for everyone. Oh, that might kill James. Oh, okay. I can resurrect him. I do have one. I have one, we're about to get to the final attack here, though. Oh, shoot, I don't have any MP. We're about to get to the final big attack from Connie. Connie's buffing himself, okay. I'm gonna hold off on resurrecting James for now, but I will if I have to. That's probably gonna do it. Okay. Oh man, that is a lot of damage. Okay, okay though. Whereas can I use that good shit? I maybe should have healed Michael. Okay, okay. That's bad. I could use the strawberry jam here, potentially. I only have one life jam. I'm just gonna use the strawberry jam, honestly. And creating this theme, one of my friends described it, or one of my friends, Lemoners described it as, it sounds like Connie is throwing you down the stairs. And I thought that was very funny because it's kind of the vibe I was going for. I wanted it to sort of be like the Jevil, like, this is insane. Like, this guy is not right. Ouchie. Oh, come on, James. I just resurrected you. I can use my life jam if I have to. Connie's enraged. It's not gonna matter, but... Actually, I did because I skipped his attack. That's fine. I probably should be using some items here. This is really, really scary. Oh no, that's... Oh my god! Okay, let's keep Michael alive. I might use this. I can use Protective Wind to save maybe Lemoners, so that she can use her healing ability. Michael should be okay because I just healed him. What are you, a pending transaction or what? That's okay. Just gonna do that. I have hand sanitizer that I could have used. Oh, please don't do that. Okay. Let's... Maybe I should just attack. Oh, can you people stop punching each other? This is not good. Okay, man, we have to clutch this. Come on, Michael. Oh shit, that might just kill him. No! Fuck. I could have won that if I'd played safer. Okay. Well, this boss fight wasn't going to be hard. So, I'm gonna beat Connie. I'll cut out the footage, or speed it up, or whatever. It's not gonna take up too much time. See you in a minute. Okay, we're at the final attack again. I've only used 2 lines of cocaine and that's it. Everyone's got pretty good health for it, so...
What are you, a pending transaction or what?
Unfortunately, Connie's hits can... Oh, that's really bad. Unfortunately, Connie's hits can really, really hurt with our max HP this low. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna use something to heal. I'll heal. That's okay. Luminous would have just killed me if I didn't heal, so... Works out, I guess. We need to just go in. Come on, let's go. We got this. Oh, it's so over. I don't care. There's no way. There's no coming back for this. There we go. Not too hard, eh? Whew. Alrighty. We got the crypto shield. I'll give it to Michael, I guess. The holder can't become confused. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give that to me. Because if I'm not confused, that means I can use my ability to cure others is confused. Buttermilk. Oh. It was a warning sign indeed. Anyways, that was fun. Let's go beat the final boss now. No, just kidding. We do have one other thing to do. We have to go to James's area to get some things done, and that should be it. Then we can go for the final boss. How many V-Bucks do I have? 295. Let's buy some Life Jam, I think. Well, I have... yeah, let's buy Life Jam. And then if I can buy hand sanitizer... Okay, perfect. Man, this part of the dev playthrough is gonna be so much longer. Or maybe it just looks longer because of me dying to Connie. Anyways. Okay. Alright, we got the Stray Kids shirt. One of the most powerful armors in the entire game. Basically, I'm gonna give that to James. The wearer recovers 5 MP at the end of every turn. This allows James to sort of use his ability Maniac infinitely. Pretty powerful. Of course, he can't use his other abilities if he's doing that, but Maniac is extremely powerful, so... I still haven't talked about his abilities yet, even though I just fought Connie. I'll do that on the road to... Lance's castle. Let me think if there's anything else to do here. I don't think so. Jay fell asleep. Must have been a really boring game. I feel that. Alright. I'm feeling like that's everything that I want to show. So let's go to Lance's castle and finish off the game once and for all. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. The answer to that question, Luminers, is because I hadn't used these tiles yet and I thought they were silly looking. So I thought it'd be fun to use them. Do you perchance remember the goop that we got in part 1? I mentioned the fact that I thought it'd be funny if there was an item that is just sitting in your inventory for the entire game. That is what I was talking about. You can use the goop here. Nice pile of goop. Period. When I was writing this dialogue, if I remember correctly, we were still sort of in like Visco Girl era. So this dialogue is sort of modeled after that. It might have been a little later than that, but that's what I was emulating. Could be goodness. There is a tech for this area. Like I had said, this area is going to be a mixture of all the different enemies that you encounter. But there is a tech to not get any encounters in this area. If there are any speedrunners listening to this, I'm not going to say what it is. But if you can figure out what it is, then that will save you quite a bit of time. I will say that once you know how the enemy encounters work in this area, then you will know how to circumvent getting encounters here. And that is all I will say. Great, good job, Self. Bringing some enemies back from older areas was something that I knew that I did want to do, especially with enemies like the skyfish that sort of like don't really do much in my area, but who knows, maybe they could be potent now that I have actual abilities and items that can give status effects. Hi! Do you remember this lad? This skeleton only shows up if you tell him in the underground in Lemnor's area to leave the underground. He does not show up if you tell him to stay. I forgot we keep... Oh boy, we got the poison goons here. The enemy arrangements are sort of just where I thought it was fun. There's a really, really silly enemy arrangement that is literally just like 8 cockatrices. It's randomly decided which battle you get. So, you might get that one. If you don't, you're lost, I guess. I don't have much to say. These battles are just the same. I mean, the enemies are the same as they were, so not a whole lot more to comment on. I guess I can talk about James's attacks, because I forgot that I hadn't done that yet. They're all references to Stray Kids songs. Of course, as is natural for his character. So, we have Red Lights, Maniac, God's Menu, and Thunderous. Are all Stray Kids songs. The descriptions are all references to them. James, I sort of wanted to be partial support and partial damage dealer, since Michael's really the only big damage dealer here. Wanted to make sure that there was another. So James has God's Menu and Thunderous for damage. alongside Maniac for support, which is really, really powerful. James counterattacking there. Great job, James. We're so close, come on. This one is taking so long. This one fight, I mean. It's almost midnight as I'm recording this. This should be the last or second to last fight that we have, though. That should be enough to do it. Funnily enough, they didn't use poison a single time there. Great job, James. Maybe they did, and oh well, they're just spoke too soon. Okay. We got Snoop's shack here. Which I have a bunch of V-Bucks now, so I might as well. Let's buy a fire extinguisher. Where's the immersion sleeping effects? It's gonna be good for Fathead boss fight. Spoilers. Let's go ahead and go in. Alright, let's do this. There's a lot of references in this dialogue, so I'll just bring them up as they are. Starting out, this is a reference to, I don't actually know what the animation is, but it's a Jesus animation, where I think one of the disciples says,
"You've come. I mean, I knew you would come, but you've
come." And Jesus says, "Yes, I have. Come." I'll play it, probably. Another allusion to the dungeon here, just for the sillies. If I had mentioned that just a minute ago in his dialogue, a minute ago, I mean like 30 minutes ago, or however long that was. Oh, then come as close as you like is a JoJo reference. Jay's a big JoJo fan. I have not watched any of it, unfortunately, but it's pretty common. But Fathead said he wouldn't expect us. So how is this possible? I wonder. Me, the optimist that I am. Luminous' dreams. That was noted in part 1 of this playthrough. Luminous has really weird dreams. I mentioned that whenever we were after we fought her. This dream that I'm saying here is a real dream that she had, and mentioned in our Discord server. She had a dream where Gabe Newell, she was like working at a convenience store, I think, or no, she was gonna buy. Yeah, Gabe Newell was the cashier. She was gonna buy a Steam card, and he just grabbed it and ran away. Drummer Rumble 3. That is also true. That did actually happen, as far as I'm aware. But I just wanted to use it as a segue to throwing. That is also true, James. Then so take me to the ceiling. Plenty. James, if you're watching this, I love you. Good job, Luminous. You thought it was hopeless there, but it turned out all we needed was each other. Fathead comes rushing in to execute his plan of... Don't worry, Don't worry, guys. Lance managed to catch you somehow, but if you give me all of your gamer parts, then I'll free you from the cage. I wonder what he would use those gamer parts for, leaving us trapped, unable to help anyone. We unfortunately still fall for it, but not in a cage, so makes it a little easier to defy him. Shoot, I forgot we would... I don't have the shotgun anymore. Oh well. Fun fact, there is extra dialogue if the player does not collect any gamer parts throughout the entirety of the game. Just a cute little addendum of Fathead being like, you didn't find any gamer parts? That one video of the guy drowning the chicken, I will play now. Lovely video. Fathead lives up to his war crimes as stated previously throughout the game. I really like that line. The things that people inside. I wasn't exactly sure how this dialogue would go, but adding Ramsey into the mix definitely like made everything sort of click into place. Because like, who doesn't love Ramsey? And Ramsey's the gamer part guy. So Ramsey can make the bazooka for Fathead. Boom, it's a lot more enticing than Pew Pew. I do love this twist, honestly. I think that it's actually not bad at all. Roping Ramsey into it, Fathead, I think it's pretty fairly telegraphed too. Not super obvious, maybe, but enough to be for it to be like, oh, you know what? That doesn't make sense. Let's run in there and save the day. Alright. This is the final boss theme that I remarked on earlier, being absolutely banger, because oh my god, this boss theme is so fucking insane. Fathead retract his abilities, because I thought that'd be fun. It also makes sense. Like, this is stock RPGMaker music. What the hell were they cooking? This is insane. I could straight up use the hand sanitizer, but I'm not gonna do that yet. I'll save it. We're pretty stacked, honestly, in terms of armor items, so I think we'll be fine. In comparison to Ani's boss fight, for sure. But yeah, I definitely wanted this to feel climactic. I wanted to make this boss pretty difficult, especially if you have not very good armor or items. A lot of Fathead and Lance's attacks do a lot of damage, and they inflict a lot of bonus effects, just like Ani. Think buff up my cool, I guess. So yeah, and retracting Path's Gift, that makes it so the only way to heal during this boss fight is through Lumineur's that good shit and items. So that's pretty dangerous. Definitely adds a little wrinkle to this boss fight. Although we are kind of like stomping right now. Hold on. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Oh my god, that almost killed him. Oof. Let's give him Powering Michael. And then let's use something good for healing. Okay. That's about the only healing thing I have. Yeah. It's okay. I could have kept that, potion. Or the herb, not the potion. That was good. Okay, I might... use the fire extinguisher for move enraged, but he's still confused, so it doesn't make all that much of a difference. I'm just gonna use Moose's skill. Okay, James hits himself and then counterattacks. Good job, James. Proud of you. Okay, I might as well go ahead and use the hand sanitizer. There's no reason not to. We're almost there. Okay. I might use my other hand sanitizer, to be honest. Well, you can probably just go for it, honestly. Let's just go. We're really, really close. James, oh my god. Oh, okay, we're definitely using the hand sanitizer now. On. Nice. Okay, that should do it, I think. Nice. If you notice, the attack doesn't actually miss Michael. It just does 0 damage, which kind of maybe, if you're observant, could imply to the player that this is intended to happen. Maybe. The cage. This game, at the end of the day, as cliche as it is, and I'll let Michael talk. This game, at the end of the day, is about the power of friendship, as cliche as it is, and how important friends can be. Maybe more so the difference that having people that care about you makes in your life. We did offense like Gartic. We haven't played in a while. One time we played, Gartic Phone had a mode called Movie Mode originally, that they've since removed that was just like animated mode. Animation mode, except it was so long, and we played it and it took forever, and we swore it off. So that's what that dialogue is in reference to. This was true at the time. And this is a reference to a time when Michael was young, and he was driving a toy car and hit a stop sign. I obviously was not there, but that is what I've been told. Oh, that's not good. Michael, my goat is bound right now, and I can't. I don't have anything to help him. I'm gonna put the crystal shard on him today, just to make sure that he doesn't die. So if Michael dies, that is really bad. He's intended to become, like, the ultimate, you know, support in this boss fight. Or at this point in the boss fight, I mean. With these abilities to help each other. And using these abilities, you can see there's no effect. Not until Michael talks to us. We have a conversation, we talk as friends. And that's when the ability kicks in. This story, I will say, is not true. I just made it up for the game. However, Michael does love pineapple juice. And milk, as stated in part 1. I really, really wanted to emphasize the power that we hold as a friend group here. Like, we can be powerful even in, like, the mundane, you know? We've seen this dialogue before, so it just gets skipped. Like Michael said, just stupid stuff like talking can make all the difference. If someone's having a bad day, or like someone's feeling down or whatever, you know? As cliche as it is, truly, and I do poke fun at it after this boss fight is over. Because I know for sure. But it is the message I wanted to convey. I might use this just so we can see the dialogue for it. That was true. Michael and James were playing Mortal Kombat 11. At the time I was making Saving the Besties. Let's go. Us winning through our belief in each other, is also supposed to directly contrast Lance and Fathead's relationship, in which Fathead takes on a much more, like, it's a mutual thing. Fathead's words being used against him there. But anyways, to finish my thought, our belief in each other is supposed to contrast Fathead and Lance's sort of like quote-unquote toxic relationship, which Fathead just berates Lance. they don't succeed in the end, because they don't understand how powerful it is to surround yourself with people that love you. If that makes any sense. And I'm gonna kind of spell that out with this a little bit here. The real treasure was the friends we made along the way. Q power friendship achievement. That was so cliche. Because truthfully, as cliche as it is true. It is still true. Alright. Ramsey throwing one last sex joke in there. And Loner is bringing up the anime girls once again from when we first beat her. This should be the popularity contest achievement, which is to get everyone in the final interaction here. That's possible. This entire interaction is like completely up to what the player did throughout the game. The only characters here that are guaranteed to show up are Fabian, Serafina, and Carmen and Diego. Everyone else is dependent on what the player did throughout the game. And I'm pretty proud of that. I really wanted to make something at the end that showed the player, hey, what you did mattered. These are all the people that you've met, and this is what you've done, basically. And I also, at the same time, wanted to really drive in the idea of, you started this game thinking it was pretty stupid. I mean, like, most people would. And then we get to this point, and it's like, these are characters that you've come to know on almost a personal level. And I really wanted to hammer that in, the fact that you're leaving these people. This is it. Did you ever expect to get attached to anyone? Probably not. And if you didn't, then that's okay too, but I did for sure. Bobby Hill. Hi, Serafina. Thought it'd be fun for these guys to have a little bit, since that's very on brand for the characters. It's also fun, I thought, for Ramsey to get to interact with them while we're here. Gabe calls Ramsey Rams there. Really like that. It's so cute. Serafina sneakily pickpocketing a game in here. Homophobic confirmed. If you remember in part 1, I did note this. You can find the cashews in their house. I noted that specifically for this moment. Sequoia coming to say hi. This only happens if you have that conversation with her to convince her to come back home. Otherwise, she just stays in the spot where she was. Also, I just got popularity contest achievement. That is for getting everyone everyone in this scene. Alright, Ramsey, let's do it. Thanks for everything. I sort of funneled my emotions into this scene here, honestly. Why is this so sad? That is the summary of the game to a T. What I planned for this game to be. I wanted you to come into this game expecting nothing, and come out with at least one thing important to you, you know? If that didn't happen, then that's okay too. I hope you had a fun time. And here we are for the grand reveal. Is this meth, perchance? Saving the Besties is up for interpretation as to what actually happened. However, I will tell you the intention is that Michael wanders into this shed, which turns out to be a rundown meth lab, and then passes out from the meth fumes, and then has a dream of Methland, in which he finds that his friends who previously left the voice chat on him have actually been kidnapped, and he needs to save them, and he meets all these kooky characters along the way. And then maybe he takes something else out of that too. Who knows? This was probably on that shed. The warning sign that was blown off from the storm that happened. One thing I want to note is that while this ending does come off as, did anything even matter if it was fake? That's absolutely not the case. And I try my best to make that clear. It's been over 3 hours to come full circle. This game, as noted on my itch.io page, takes about 3 hours to complete. It's about 3 hours of content, is what's written. So I note here that this journey has been about 3 hours in real time, because this game has been about 3 hours in real time. Before I enter here, I want to talk a little bit more about why Saving the Besties matters, both in-universe and out-of-universe. Saving the Besties may be a dream to Michael, but Michael does not come out the same person that he entered. And that's for certain. Alongside that, the characters still live on, as we will see. Saving the Besties, a game made with love by yours truly. I cannot specify enough how much love was put into this game, truly. Fabian and Ramsey get to see their movie. I love this project completely. As weird as it is for me to admit, for a game where you stick your hand down the toilet and you eat a tire and you get chased by Mario and you meet Dragon Force and Mima from Perfect Blue and You fight Connie from Cryptoland. This game means so much to me. It truly is like a landmark of my life, as weird as it is. Paige and Colleen, alongside Harley. Extra special thanks to Jay for being my main plot tester. Thank you, truly, to everyone that supported me in the creation of this game. Monopoly, I noted that in the Sage household. Carter mentions that he always beats Sequoia at Monopoly. A big thanks to you. And I mean that seriously. I've said throughout this playthrough so many times, I've talked to you, and I seriously cannot explain how much it means to me for you to exist and be here in this moment and appreciate, or not even appreciate, for you to be here and listen to this, even if you just skipped to the end or skipped around or whatever, to take time out of your day for this project, whether you played it or not, whether you like it or not. This project means so much to me, and my goal with this project was for it to mean something to someone else. And has that been vindicated? I don't really know. But I will say this project means the world to me. It means the world to my friends who are in it. It means a lot just because this project was a multi-year endeavor of love and thought and care and polish that was packaged in an RPGMaker shitpost. Seriously, this game is everything to me. Playing this game for the first time with my friends, and I've told this to them before, is maybe the best moment of my life thus far, as stupid as it sounds. Seriously, I know. But, oh my god, getting to hear, like, laughs and recognition and all of that from something that I'd spent years on, it meant everything. And for you to be here right now and to get to experience that too, like, it's almost unfathomable to me. Seriously, thank you listening so much. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here for this crazy journey. Thank you for listening to me ramble, if you did. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Saving the Besties. You listening, I really hope to get to see you in the future for anything that I make that I put this much passion into. Because truly, I hope to make as many labor of loves in my lifetime as I can, as I could with this game. Thank you.